So what are the real limits of Hondata? Well, this seems to be it. In a nutshell, while I was on the dyno, I was trying to get more boost out of the car and I'd add more ignition timing, but then the ECU would pull back on the boost. And this didn't really seem to matter what settings I messed with, but truly seemed to be a limit of a torque calculation that's in the software in the factory ECU. So at this point, I think this is pretty much the limit of what can be accomplished on Hondata without using nitrous at this point.
Alright, so I just kind of want to elaborate a little bit on the torque request, and keep in mind the values that you see here in my tables do not correspond to your setup. They are absolutely setup dependent, so please do not take the values that you see here in my tune and put them on your car. You will damage something. Alright, now that that's out of the way, remember this is setup specific to my setup. Well, the torque request that I'm talking about is a calculation between the ignition timing and basically the boost pressure or calculated air charge. The ECU takes a combination of those two things and gets its torque request value based upon those two things. So by lowering the values, so in this particular scenario we see 100% throttle pedal over up here on the right, and in that category here we see a request in third for 480 Newton meters. That means in third gear the calculated should be 480 Newton meters, which I believe translates out to somewhere around 350 foot-pounds of torque, but we exceed this. Why do we exceed this? One, a lot of us are using ethanol. So because the factory ECU was never designed to see these values, this offsets it. Ethanol's more efficient. That's another thing. Ethanol makes more power on the same ignition timing and the same boost. We'll also have a more efficient turbo setup. The factory turbo could never produce 655 Newton meters of torque. It just can't do it. But the thing is not so much that in these torque requests by mode chart and gear is really the issue. I believe the limiting issue is this total torque limit chart all the way down here on the bottom. We cannot put a bigger value than 655 Newton meters in there. So regardless, basically when I added ignition timing, it commanded less boost, and when I took the ignition timing back out, it commanded the boost back in. And then it limited basically at that point upon my air charge request. So what I had done was I'd taken the most amount of power I'd make on that particular air charge request, where I felt comfortable with the boost level, tried to put a couple more degrees of ignition timing in it, and it wasn't having it. Didn't matter what cam timing, none of that stuff made a difference. I even went into these ethanol ignition compensation tables, which this functions off. If we go into ethanol, right, and we have the ignition compensation tables, this is an ignition multiplier, meaning how much percent do we multiply against this compensation chart. So if I turn around and this ignition multiplier set at 100% at 45% ethanol, when the car sees 45% ethanol, it will add 100% of these values to the original ignition timing tables. Now again, this is 100% setup dependent. Do not take these values and use them on your car. You will hurt it. This is basically my setup here is for built motor cammed with really high quality fuel. You know, don't go copying this stuff. Anyway, that's basically what happened. I added more timing, I lost boost. I took away timing, the ECU commanded the boost back. There was just no way around it. Anyway, that's all I have for you. That's basically where the limit is in Flash Pro. Everything else can kind of be worked around, but even if I turned around and used some form of external gate and say I went into the DTCs here and disabled all of them. Regardless, the torque request in the ECU, the calculation's still there. So regardless if I forced it to try to make boost, all it would do is just close the throttle plate to bring the boost pressure back down to what it's requested in the computer. So this I believe to be the limit, where there's just kind of no way around it at this point. So thank you for tuning in. I hope this helped you guys, and you'll have a great day, and see you in the next video. Don't forget, subscribe, like, and share the video.